Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I actually need to put back on my glasses so I can see, but welcome back to the channel today. Happy Sunday. I have to admit, this is my first recording in 2021, so once again, Happy New Year. The previous videos obviously were all pre-recorded, but yeah, the first video of 2021 that I'm physically sitting in the new year recording. But I just want to come in and say Happy New Year once again. And I am coming in today with a couple videos. Actually, make sure that you stay tuned these first couple videos, and I will do a sort of my sewing strategy for 2021. I will have a separate video for that. Not so much plans, and you all know I don't necessarily do plans videos, although I will have a plans video coming up for, of course, my birthday month in BHM Pattern Designer, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But after today's video, the first couple videos of the year that I'm recording is addressing some frequently asked questions that I have received in comments over the past year, and I kind of wrote these down, and I'm like, okay, why don't I just do separate videos for them? I've done videos for these in the past, but they are kind of old. Not much has changed, but I still want, there may be obviously a couple updates, but stay tuned for Wednesday. That will be the video that is answering the question that I get quite a bit, and that is, what are my most frequent pattern adjustments? And then next week Sunday, a week from today, you'll see the video on how I store my commercial patterns and my indie patterns. So that is coming up. What I am wearing today is my cashmere linen shirt dress, and it still fits relatively nice. It is getting a little baggy and everything around the bust, but I can still get away with it right now, so I decided to go ahead and put that on today. So yeah, there was no magic number. I just kind of sat and looked around my sewing room and around the cutting table, things I reached for the most, and it happened to be 25 things. I think I really could have come up with more, but I will say these are things that I know that I have used most frequently, notions, tools, things of that nature in the past year that I know I will continue to use going forward. And so yeah, let's jump right into it, because there are 25 things, and I'm gonna give just a really brief description of why I use each of these things. Most of it is, you all know, will be common sense. I will link what I can in my Amazon store, but some of this stuff you'll be able to find in your home. I'll let you know what that is. You'll be able to find maybe at your own local sewing and craft store. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Let's start out first with the rulers. So there are two rulers that I use the most, straight ruler, and some things I will pop in picture or video because it's not gonna come across too good here, but this is just a straight ruler that I use a lot when I'm tracing patterns. I usually use my curve runner, this one, when maybe I'm making my adjustments. You've seen it in my videos. When I'm grading between sizes, I typically use my curve runner to help do that. So yeah, rulers obviously are the most important. Some of the top tools that I've used. Also, two other things are my two things that I use to store my patterns. So one is my clear bag, which is this, which stores my commercial pattern after I've taken it out of the envelope. And so stay tuned. Again, next Sunday you'll see how I store and all of that, so I'm not going to go into it. And then these here are the plastic cases that I keep my indie patterns in. Again, stay tuned. For next week Sunday you will see how I store those different items. And then one of the a really nice fun tool that I found at least 2018, maybe 2017, is this awesome needle pad. I'm gonna bring this up, hopefully you should see it. You can put your needles in here, and it comes with a with the needle with the little head on it, that whatever needle that is in your machine, you can take it out where it is here, put this in, so you know, oh, this is in my machine. And so I absolutely love this needle pad. Like I said, I've had it for 3 years maybe now, and it is so very useful. Before using this, anything else, I'm trying to figure out, well, what needle was that, because I can always tell just by the little color around the needle head there. But absolutely love this, absolutely love this, and I know that is linked in my Amazon store. The sixth thing, don't laugh, this came from my kitchen. It has now been commandeered from my sewing room. It is a fork, and this is what they call this, a shrimp fork or something like that. But anyway, this is a fork. I use this to put the zipper heads on my zipper tape, because as you all know, I make handbags and wallets, and so usually I use continuous zipper tape, and I put on my zipper head onto my zipper tape using this fork. And I also use, speaking of handbags, I use a lot of double-sided tape. This one is from, I want to say, Walwack, but anyway, you can get it from Amazon Walwack. I believe I have something linked in my Amazon store down below, but I use this for handbag making, especially for straps when you need to kind of put things down. Mainly I find I use it for straps and things of that nature, two things that need to go together, or if you have some kind of design feature on the outside of the bag, you want to kind of make sure it stays in place, and so double-sided tape to the rescue. The next two things are Wonder Clips and hair clips. Now, bear with me. So I use two different sizes of Wonder Clips. These are the large ones. As you can tell, these are quite large, very large. I use these actually to clip my handbag pieces. When I cut out my handbag pieces, wallet pieces, especially when there's thicker vinyl or something like that, I tend to use these because these are obviously open up wider. And I actually had to replace these. You all have to replace your Wonder Clips, because sometimes I break mine if I have too many things in the inside the clip. But this is one I just picked up. So these are smaller. Obviously I use these for slipperier fabrics, things of that nature. Love, love, love. And so love those for slipperier fabrics, some handbag and wallets, but mainly I use these. And the other thing I use the most for handbag wallet are hair clips. And so they're just regular claw hair clips like these. And so yeah, I use these to because these are real sturdy, and it's nice to have these if you're sewing too, because it's flat on the bottom, and it's really nice when you're sewing that you have this for handbags, I'm speaking in wallets, that you have a nice flat long bottom that you can just run, and it's easy to kind of swipe out of the way as you're sewing. So yeah, those are some different tools that I use. I know, hair clips, but I learned just watching YouTube videos and other YouTubers, learned quite a bit. And then also one of the other items that I use this only for handbags, and I did use this for top stitching when I was using denim, but this is a thread burner, and so you won't be able to tell, but this here pokes out at the end, and it will and it's battery operated. And you can burn your threads, especially if you don't want to bury your threads, or you're having a hard time burying your threads. This is an excellent option for you to be able to make sure that the thread don't burn or anything like that, especially in handbag and wallet making. So yeah, a thread burner is really nice tool to have. A couple of the other tools that I have are rotary cutters. So I have two. This one I use for fabric, and this one I use for my handbag for vinyl. So I used to only use one, but obviously not good. It's like having using your papers, your fabric scissors to cut paper, you need separate rotary cutters, separate scissors for your handbag, if you're cutting vinyl, different things of that nature versus just regular fabric. And same thing with my scissors. I have both fabric scissors. These are my fabric scissors. These are if I need to cut vinyl or something like that. I only use leather once, so this is mainly just the faux leather, vinyl, things of that nature. That's what I use these for. And then these are my fabric scissors. So yeah, that is something else that I use. I've already talked about the double-sided tape. I'll pop in a picture here or a short video. I also have my two tabletop presses. You've seen me talk about the cam press, and I also have the Gold Star tube press. Absolutely love them. Use them for different things. The cam is mainly for the snaps that I use, and to hole punch and to secure secure those in place. And then the Gold Star press tool is what I use for my rivets. But my cam press, I also have the hole puncher that I can punch the hole, and then use the Gold Star to do the pressing of rivets and things of the actual pressing of rivets. So it's really nice to have both of those tools at my disposal. And so yeah, I definitely love them, and I use them mainly I use both of them for handbag wallet making. However, as you all know, you've seen my videos, I use the press as well for snaps on. I've only used snaps on my husband's shirts, and so I've used that machine, that press machine, for that. The next thing are my 4 sewing machines. Again, I'll pop up video here. I get asked a lot, what machines do I use, which ones do I have. I typically try to mention that in any sew along videos that I do, what machines I'm using, different things of that nature. But I have the SE400, the brother, which is a sewing machine slash embroidery machine. However, I have been using it mainly for top stitching, but I have recently here switched it to just do embroidery. That machine was actually gifted to me by a fellow sewist several years ago, and so I'm very grateful for that. But I've since had it maintenance, and now I'm able to use it strictly just for embroidery, and light embroidery, nothing too complicated. And then I have my brother Pacesetter 2500. I've had this machine for at least maybe 15 years now. Absolutely love it. It is a workhorse. I try to keep the maintenance up on all my machines, but recently had both the Pacesetter and the brother SE400 service last year, so they're due for servicing. Well, 2019, they're due for servicing definitely this year, but obviously with the pandemic last year, that was kind of delayed. And then I have my brother 1034D serger. I do admit, while I clean this thing and everything like that, it has not been serviced yet, so I definitely need to get that in and have that serviced. Then of course I have my Genome, or Genome, however you want to pronounce it, HD 3000, which was bought specifically for handbag making and wallet making, and I will have a separate part 2 video coming up on that, and what I think about that machine. Now for my other couple items, here are my actual seam rippers. Now I have 2 different kinds, and these you won't be able to see too well, so I'll pop pictures or a short video in. One is called a surgical seam ripper. And this particular seam ripper I use to rip seams of serge seams. So in clothes, different things of that nature. I've had this thing so many years. I can't tell on here when I bought this, but I've had that thing for probably over a decade. And then the newer one I have purchased is the Tulip Pink one, and again I'll pop up a video, a picture of this. Absolutely love this. I only use this for handbag making. So when I need, as you can tell, there is a point there, as I need to put in bag feet, I usually use this particular item to poke the holes, because that's a lot of fabric, usually going through Decaville, different things of that nature, to get a good hole. And so I use that. for that particular task. And then of course there's different interfacing that I have found that I have used the most. I have used Pelon SF101 quite a bit. I have used the knit interfacing, and I've also used we have the for bag making, Decaville Light, Decaville Heavy are some interfaces that I have used. Now we are up to, sorry, I have not been keeping track of this. We are up to number 21. I call this my needle collector. And all my needle collector is a spice jar, old spice jar that has the holes in the top. As I go through needles in my machine, or they break or something like that, I just throw them in here. They're nice and safe and out of the way. I have learned I can turn these in at a pharmaceutical place to properly get rid of the needles. And some sewing machine places will take old needles to dispose of them, but so I haven't looked into that as of late with everything going on, but I have a long way to go before this thing. As much as I change my needles, and I will say my sewing machine needles, I change them whether I'm doing knit or woven probably every 3-4 projects. It just depends on how the needle is sounding. When I start hearing that thump 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 noise or something like that in my needle, I'll change out the needle, of course, if it breaks or something like that. So I do change my needles. I've had to change my serger needles a couple times because they have broken, not necessarily because I needed to change them in that moment. But yeah, so that is my needle catcher. Number 22 is my machine oil. So I do use machine oil to oil my machines, and it is, I had to go get it. It is just machine oil, and I actually got this at a dealer. So you can order this, you can get this at any sewing supply store, Wawac, yeah, but I've gotten this from a dealer, and you'll have this stuff forever, because I mainly oil my serger. I try to keep my serger, because it hasn't been maintenance yet, keep it clean, and everything like that, and keep it oiled. And so so yeah, and speaking of that, with cleaning out this is, thank you Myra Lorraine from One So Sweet. This is what, number 23. Have 2 more. This here is a vacuum that I use to suck out all of the lint and different things that get caught up in the serger. So I will use this to clean out. Again, a lot of this stuff will be linked in my Amazon store. If not, I'm sure you can find it at your local art supply store, sewing craft store, things of that nature. And then, of course, last but not least, number 25 is tracing paper. So you all know, if you've been following my channel at least for the last 3 years, you know I have kind of become pro pattern tracing. Was so against it for so long and just did not want to take the time to do it. However, one of the things that kind of switched me is the fact that I don't want to keep buying patterns over and over, commercial patterns, or I don't want to have to keep sending to print to PDF plotting patterns that I have printed and have cut up. Now you might say, well then just print them off and stick them together. That's not me. I'm not team print and stick together. Not. That is the last thing I want to do. So I, for the most part, do trace a majority, I would say, of my pattern pieces. I don't trace everything. So if you saw my recent sew along, like I mentioned in that video, I don't trace large skirt pieces or different things of that nature, because the nesting of the size lines is that as I lose weight, it's easier just to go down. I don't have to worry about grading on those type of pattern pieces. But bodices, different things of that nature, I will trace stuff like that. So yeah, so that is pretty much it. I would say those are my 25 most used notions and tools. Are there other things that I use? Absolutely. And so, but I didn't highlight those today because maybe I didn't use them as frequently, or it's probably not something that, you know, like Freight Check. I'm looking at Freight Check. Yeah, I use Freight Check. It wasn't anything necessarily I thought I needed to mention, but we could add it. Number 26. And clear tape. Obviously, if I'm taping pattern pieces together that I've traced off and different things of that nature, obviously I need Scotch tape to tape different pieces together, or if I lengthen or shorten something. Obviously, those are just some things that I didn't mention. So technically, I guess that's 26 and 27. So that is it. Let me know what you think. Again, as much as I have, I will link down in my Amazon store, which will be down in the description box down below. So check the description box down below. And yeah, you will be able to pick up most of these things. If not, you already have them, or you'll get them, can grab them from your local sewing and craft store as well. So that is pretty much it. I think that's all I have. So definitely let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, I will come back in and let you know, give you any feedback if there's anything else that I needed to share with you today. But yeah, stay tuned for the next video. I will be coming back in to share with you my most common adjustments, and I will say I believe most of those adjustments I have videos on, so we'll see what I'm able to show you in the upcoming video. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in today. I greatly appreciate it. Again, happy New Year. Hope your new year is starting off to a great start. And so yeah, everybody have a blessed day, and we will see you on Wednesday. Bye.